Leaders establish integrity before justice. On March 14, 1991, the Birmingham Six walked free after serving a combined 96 years for a crime they did not commit. Their convictions for the murder of 21 people in 2 Birmingham pub bombings were quashed by Her Majesty's Court of Appeal in London, England. It marked the end of a 16-year struggle against systemic failure and demonstrated how institutions often resist acknowledging errors. The Birmingham Six, Hugh Callaghan, Paddy Hill, Billy Power, John Walker, Richard McIlkenny, and Gerry Hunter became symbols of one of Britain's most notorious miscarriages of justice. These 6 Irishmen were arrested in November 1974 following IRA bomb attacks on 2 Birmingham pubs, the Mulberry Bush and the Tavern in the Town, which tragically killed 21 people and injured 182 others. Within hours, they were in custody. Within 6 months, they were convicted and sentenced to life imprisonment. Their convictions relied heavily on forensic evidence, and confessions the men consistently maintained were extracted through physical and psychological coercion. The case began unraveling in 1985 when the forensic evidence was discredited. The Griess test, used to detect explosives, was found unreliable, producing false positives from everyday items like playing cards and cigarette smoke. Despite this revelation, their first appeal was dismissed, underscoring the system's reluctance to admit fault. It took a relentless campaign, combining investigative journalism, legal battles, and grassroots activism to break institutional resistance and achieve justice. Journalist Chris Mullin's book, Error of Judgement, exposed serious flaws in the case, identifying the likely perpetrators and documenting police malpractice that went unpunished. The men's legal team, led by solicitor Gareth Pearce, systematically dismantled the prosecution's case, presenting compelling new evidence that the confessions were coerced and forensic evidence manipulated. The Lord Chief Justice Lord Lane finally announced, "The convictions are unsafe and unsatisfactory. They are quashed." It represented not just freedom for 6 innocent men, but a seismic shift in Britain's criminal justice system. The case led directly to the establishment of the Criminal Cases Review Commission and fundamental reforms in police interrogation procedures, including mandatory video recording of interviews. The fact that 6 innocent men were systematically brutalized within a criminal justice system that lacked the integrity to correct its own errors for 16 years stands as a stark indictment of institutional failure. As the men emerged from the Old Bailey, Paddy Hill's words resonated with raw emotion. "The police told us from the start they knew we hadn't done it. They didn't care who had done it." His statement encapsulated the profound betrayal they had suffered at the hands of those sworn to uphold justice and integrity. Change leadership lessons. The Birmingham Six case highlights how integrity must serve as the guiding principle for leadership, both in normal day-to-day operations and in transformative change. Leaders of change prioritize integrity as the foundation for decisions, creating trust that paves the way for enduring reforms. They demonstrate consistency between their actions and values, ensuring credibility and fostering confidence in their leadership. Change leaders champion transparency, openly addressing systemic flaws to rebuild the moral framework within organizations. They recognize that sustainable progress emerges from a steadfast commitment to ethics, even when facing resistance or setbacks. Leaders of change cultivate environments where ethical conduct is celebrated, ensuring organizations align with both purpose and principles. Summary leadership quote: "Leaders of change prioritize integrity, demonstrate consistency between their actions and values, and address flaws transparently, ensuring justice has no bias." Organizational change application. In the Birmingham Six case, integrity failures within law enforcement and judicial institutions directly undermined justice, as authorities consistently refused to address clear errors despite mounting evidence. Modeling integrity is an essential, non-delegable responsibility for leaders of change and cannot rely on fake gestures or symbolic actions. Integrity stands out as the most critical trait of a leader, especially in times of transformative change. Leaders of change must guide their organizations and employees through change journeys firmly rooted in ethical principles. Integrity and moral credibility are the cornerstones of successful leadership, enabling trust and fostering genuine relationships within the workplace. Organizational change often entails difficult decisions, but ethical leaders consistently prioritize doing what is right, even under pressure. Research confirms that morally grounded leadership yields better organizational outcomes and fosters enduring transformation. While employees overwhelmingly value moral leadership, many perceive a gap between what leaders say and what they embody in practice. Credibility, a hallmark of integrity, hinges on trust, respect, and authentic alignment between a leader's words and actions, making it indispensable for leaders driving meaningful change.